Hello everyone, today we're learning about mציעא Daf Samech Beis. We're going to start the last line of Samech Aleph Amud Beis. We had a machloikis. What's the din if ribis tzutza yoytze b'dayonim or no yoytze b'dayonim? Can you go to Bezdin to sue back the interest that you paid? Omar Rav Nachman it's like my time with the Rabbi Loza. What's pshat in the time that Rabbi Loza says you could go to Bezdin to claim ribis? The Omar Kro, it said in the pasuk, in the pasuk of ribis, I'm going to read the whole pasuk. Al tikach mi'itoi neshech v'tarbis v'reisa miloikecho v'chai yochicho imoch. It says your brother should live with you. Ahadale, you should give back the ribis that you took. Ke'echi deniche ba'adoch, they should live with you. So therefore, we learn from the pasuk that you have to give it back. Rabbi Yochanan, who doesn't say you give back the money of ribis, ahai v'chai yochicho imoch mai ovidle, what will he do for it? What will he learn from them? For what we learned, Shnaim shayu malchim baderech, two people walking, Reuben and Shimon were going in the way. Uviad echod mehem kitun shemaim, one of them has water with him. Im shoisim shneim, if they both drink, Im shoisim shneim mesim, they both will die. By the time they come to the next place with water, they'll die from thirst. Im shoise echod mehem, if one of them will drink the water, he'll manage to get to a settlement and get more water, but the other one will die. Dorash ben Petura. Mutav sheishtu shneim, better that they both should drink, v'yimusu, and they'll die together. V'al yireh echod mehem b'misasa shechaveri, that one shouldn't see the other one die, and he'll continue. They should be in the tzara together. Ad shebara b'akiva v'limed, he darshaned v'chai ochicho imoch. It said in the pasuk, your brother should live with you. So that means only chayecha koidem lechayecha vercho. You have a schus for yourself. That means if you could save yourself, you should save yourself before you save your friend. And therefore, this person who has the water should drink the water by himself and see his friend chas v'shalom die, and he should save himself. Because you learn it from imcha with you when you're still existent. But if you can't survive, you don't have to save him. Meisive, we have a kasha on Rabbi Yochanan in Yachloim of B'imoishel ribis. Someone got Yerusha money that the father took for ribis, afal pishiyodim shem ribis, even they know that this specific money came to the father by ribis, einam chayav lachziron, they don't need to give it back. Ha, says the Gemara of Medayek, ha avien, mashma the kids are not chayav, ha avien chayav lachzir, the father doesn't need to give it back, and Rabbi Yochanan says, ribis tzutza, einu yoytze b'dayonim. Says the Gemara, bedinhu davur namiloi mechayav lachzir, really the father's also not chayav lachzir. Why did it say it about the sons? Because in the Sefer and the Brisa want to tell you Chiddush. If the father has something that he took that's specifically that everyone knows that belonged to the other person, and when they see it, they say, "Oh, this his father stole. His father took beribis." Because of the respect of the father, they need to give it back. So to tell you a chiddush that the Yorshim, even the Yorshim, because it was covered avim, they have to give something back, even though the normal Yorshim for sure don't have to give it back. That's why Tony Nami Reisha B'didu. That's why in the Reisha it's talking about the kids, but really Enochinam in the Reisha, even the father's no chayav lachzir. Hasag more cash on the Brisa, but animi pnei covered avim mechayvi. For the respect of the father, they need to give back if it's davar mesuyim like a cow or specific talis. Why is that? Why the mechuyev on the cover of the father? Korikan, it says in the pasuk, "V'nosi b'am chaloi." Sorry, you shouldn't curse out someone who's respected, a nosi in your nation. And we learn over there, if he's behaving like a Jew, but this person did not behave like a Jew, he was taking ribis. So why mechuyev for the cover of his? So the Gemara could Omar Pinchos Mishmei, it's talking about the Shasa Tshuva. He said about something else. Ochenami, we're going to explain B'shasa Tshuva that the father did Tshuva. Said the Gemara, Yosa Tshuva my boy Gabe. How does he still have the cow? Why didn't he give it back? So the Gemara, Shlo Yispik Lach Zat Shemeis. He did Tshuva and he died. Let's say he was on his deathbed, and a second before he died, he did Tshuva. He didn't have time to give back what he stole or he took beribis. So the kids are mechuyev mifnei kovid avim to give it back. Meisive, we have a kasha, a gazlonim, people who steal malve beribis, people who lend out money with interest, afal pishigovu, even though that they claim the money, machzirim, they have to still give it back. Says the Gemara, Gazlonim, Mayaf al Pishigovu, why is it what they claim, the Ganovim? Govu means to take like what someone owes you. I gozul, gozul. If they stole, they stole. Iloi gozul, gazlonim koroslu. If they never stole, they're not gazlonim. There's no loan and then taking it back. By a malve beribis, it makes sense, govu, that you took the interest. But by the gazlonim, it doesn't make sense, a loshon. Elo will explain the brisa, ema gazlonim, mine you, and what are these gazlonim? Malve beribis, people who lend with interest. Afal Pishagovu, even though that they took the interest, machzirin, they need to give it back. We heard to Krusha Brisa that says no, like Rabbi Yochanan, who says you don't need to give it back. So the Gemara Tanoi Enochinami to Machlokes Tanoim, and Rabbi Yochanan holds like the Tana that holds that you have to give back you don't have to give back ribis. The Tanya we learned in the Brisa Rabbi Nechemia, Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov Pultru Misal Malve Ves Orev Bifnei Sheyesh Bayim Kumasei. That Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, Rabbi Nechemia and Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov say that the Malva himself and the Orev is the one who signed on the document saying that if the Levi doesn't pay, he's going to pay. They don't get Malchus on a loan beribis with interest, because there is a Kuma say they could fix it. Whenever you could fix the lab that you've done, there's no Malchus. So and Tanakama argues, says the Gemara, my Kuma say, what's the thing that you could fix it? That we tell the Orev or we tell the Malve, Kumo Hadru, give it back where you claimed. Michlal, and we could see the Tanakama who argues and say that they do get Malchus. They don't need to give back the money. Once you take ribis, there's no Indian to give it back. And that's like Rabbi Yochanan. So Rabbi Yochanan holds like Tanakama. So the Gemara, no. Loi. My Kuma say, Likroy Ashtora. When the Kuma say of the Orev and the Malva is not to give it back. For sure, if they were goyve beribis, Rashi explains, that's it, you don't need to give it back. But somehow before they claim the money, and they just have the shtar, and the shaila is, and the chiyuv of them is to tear the shtar, not to be goyve this interest. So the Gemara, Maikosova, what did they hold? Ikosova shtar medligvois gigovidomi. If you hold that when you have a shtar that's meshubadun gakrois, it's as if you took it already. What will it help to tear the shtar? It's as if they were goiver it already. So what will it help to tear up the shtar? And if a shtar is not as if you claimed it already, so therefore, so the Gemara, they didn't do anything. So what's it to the shtar? Why the oiver isa? They didn't claim yet the money of ribis. So the Gemara, really they hold the shtar is not like as if you took it already. And this is the chiddush, the shumo milsehi, because you owe the money, that's already considered like ribis. It's considered, because you owe the interest, that's already the isa. And I bring you a raya that this is pshat, it nan, it says these are the people who over the loisase, amalve, the one who lent the money, valoive, the one who borrowed the money, the one who gave the money, the one who took the money, or the one who signed as a guarantor, va'edim, and the edim. Bishlei mekulu avud maisa. Everyone did a maisa. Elo edim may avud. What did the edim do physically? Elo lav shmamino. The shumo milsei shmamino. Just that they testify, and there was a maisa of a chiyuv. That's already called a maisa, and therefore they did the isa, and therefore the edim over the loisase. Omar Rav Safra, Kol she'ilu bedinei moitzim miloive lemalva. If in the Goisha laws, they'll take, if the guy owes it, the loive didn't pay the deal that they had, they'll force the loive to pay to the malva. Bedinenu machzirim. In our case, in our besdin, if the malva took the money, we'll make him give it back if it's interest, obviously. Mimalve leloive, machzir mimalve leloive. After the malva claimed it, we'll take away from the malva. We're going to see exactly the case. Kol she'ilu b'dineim ein moitzim. If by Goisha court they don't force the miloive lemalva, the loive to pay the malva this type of interest, b'dineinu, if the malva did take it, ein machzurim, he doesn't have to give it back to the loive. Mimalve leloive, the malva doesn't have to give it back to the loive. Omalei Abaye Rav Yosef echlolahu. Is this a fixed rule? If someone gives his friend a saw of chitin and he wants a saw of chitin back, That's ribis derabanan debidivrei moitzim loiva lemalva. If the loiva is in a goisha court, if the loiva doesn't pay this saw that he borrowed, they force him to pay back. With dinenu in machzirim, if the malva took the saw, we don't say he has to give it back because it's only a vakribis. So it doesn't make sense what he's saying. With dinenu ein machzirim malva leloiva. If the malva took it, we don't make him pay the loiva back. Or malay inu beturas bikodon oseleodei. In Goyish law, the reason why they make him pay the saw after he borrowed the saw is not because of alva. The reason why they make him pay because it's like he borrowed the saw, give back the saw. So it's not midin alva. And we're talking about the din that we said this farm rule is only talking about midin alva. And therefore you can't ask me a shaila of a case with the goyim rule midin pikodon. Amali Ravina Ravashi Vara Mashkanta Beloina Chaisa. Reuven came to Shimon and he said, "Can you lend me £1,000?" Shimon said, "No problem, but I want your field. I'm going to eat your field, all the oranges, until the day you pay him back. The day you pay him back £1,000, I'll give you back the field, but you still have to pay me the full £1,000." That's called a mashkanta below nachaisa. It's a mashkanta, it's a deposit, it's a guarantor, but below nachaisa without cleaning off the amount of oranges he ate. Then in such a case, the bidinei moitzim loiva lemalva. If the loiva didn't pay the malva the £1,000 I owes him, and he goes to the goisha court, he'll say he has to pay. Ubidinenu in Jewish law, ein machzir mi malva leloiva. If the malva took the £1,000, we don't say the malva has to return to the loiva the fruit or the amount of fruit he ate less than £1,000. We say no, he keeps the £1,000 on the fruit he ate and just gives back the field. So it doesn't make sense. Then we said. Omalei inu in the Goyish law, beturas vinu osel yodai. The way they look at it is that when Reuven took the field from Shimon, Reuven took money from Shimon and he gave the field to Shimon, is as if Shimon bought the field, and it's his now. And then Reuven a few months later gives him the $1,000. So then Shimon is selling him back the field. It's not alva. So says the Gemara, Elo kol she'ilu b'dinei and the Kamar of Safra mai osel hashmin. And what is it coming to tell you? What case is it coming to tell you? So the Gemara, mai osel hashmin, hochi osel hashmin. This is what it's coming to tell you. Kol she'ilu b'dinei moitzim loiva lemalve, b'dinei machzir malve loive. Umaynu, you what a case? Beribis ktsutza. That if Reuven took money from Shimon, he took $100 and he has to pay him $150. So now when you come to Goyish law and Reuven never paid Shimon, the Goyish law is going to make Reuven pay Shimon $150. So in our law, in Jewish law, if Shimon took the $150, he has to give back the $50. Ma'ininu berubis tzutza, fixed interest. Ukudurab Lava, who said that fixed interest you have to give back. Kol she'ilu b'dineim ein moitzim b'dineinu ein machzirim. What's the case? Rubius mukdemes, Rubius murcharas. So later on, the mission is going to say a case that if someone comes to his friend and gives him a present, gives him a bottle of wine, and he says, "Oh, I'm giving you this bottle of wine because I'm going to come soon to you for a loan." So the din is, he can't. It's forbidden. And that's Rubius mukdemes. And Rubius murcharas is that after Reuven took a loan from Shimon and he pays him back, he sends him a bottle of wine and says, "Thank you very much for the loan you've given me." That's Rubis Mocheres. So those both cases are also, it's the Rabbanon. But in Goyish law, they're not going to force the loiva to give this bottle of wine because it wasn't agreed on. So also by us, if it was given, we won't force the malve to give it back to the loiva. Okay, now we come into a bit of a complicated case in the Mishnah. So just to recap a second, we're going to go back to the Mishnah and we're going to read the case. Reuven took from Shimon chitin bedin of zoav achor v'chein akur v'chein ashar. Reuven gave Shimon din of zoav that Shimon should supply him with kur of chitim during the year v'chein ashar. And that's a fixed price. That's a price that one dinar zov is equivalent to one kur. Dinar zov is 25 silver coins, and that's a price. And it's mutter to do that because Shimon could take the money and buy chitin now. Omdu chitin belamid dinar, and the price went up. Omaloi. So Reuven told Shimon, tell me chitai, can I have my chitim that you owe me? I want to sell them. And to buy with the 30 that I'm going to sell them for, that the price went up, I'll buy wine with it. Omaloi, so Shimon told Reuven, right? Are you chitim worth one crore that's worth 30 now? So I owe you 30 now, so I'm going to owe you 30 now, and I'll supply you with wine worth 30. But Shimon doesn't have wine with him now, so it's forbidden to do that. Midirabonon. Said the Gemara, what's the problem that Shimon doesn't have this wine? What's the big deal? Batanya, we learned in the Brisa, in Poiskim and Paris, you're not allowed to give money to get a Paris that the other person should supply you Paris later on in the year. Actually, Yotza Ashar, until there's a fixed price for this type of fruit. Yotza Ashar, but if there's a fixed price, Poiskim, you're allowed to do a fixed price. Because when Reuven gives Shimon the money, even if Shimon doesn't have the chitim, Shimon could take the money and buy with that chitim the amount of chitim that he owes to Shimon, to Reuven. So there's no problem. And therefore Shimon could supply Reuven with the chitim during the year. So what's the problem by us? At the beginning Reuven gave Shimon. And then he went up. So now he's changing on to wine. What's the big deal? It's not talking about that when Reuven came to Shimon and he said, can I have my kur chitin that you owe me? Shimon said, okay, I'll give you 30 zuz instead. It's worth 30 now. I'll give you 30 zuz now. And you know what? Give it to me now. The 30 zuz, I'm going to give you wine and I'm going to give you wine instead. That was not the case. There was no money involved. Shimon straight away said, oh, I owe you a kur chitim. I'll owe you the value of kur chitim in wine. Like we learned in the Brisa, someone who owes his friend a money, Shimon owes Reuven a money. And Reuven comes to Shimon and stands on his pile of wheat. Can I have my money back? I want to buy wheat with it. So Shimon tells Reuven, what's the problem? I have wheat. I'm going to supply you wheat. Go see how much a money worth, how much will you buy chitin now? And I'll supply you. It's 100 kilos for money you can buy now. I'll supply you 100 kilos in the next 12 months. Also, it's forbidden. The lavki sorry abolo yodo domi. So the Brisa, because Shimon now is not getting cash for this transaction, it's forbidden. Even though that he has the chitin with him, is still a problem. And the Shittim Kubetzes explained the reason is because if he gets the money now, it looks like a mekach. But if it's all because of a loan, even though he has the chitin, it looks like that he's getting more for the loan that he gave. So that's pshat in the Mishnah. That's why it's forbidden, because when Reuven changed the chitin to wine, Shimon didn't have money to give him, and he swapped it straight away from a choiv to a choiv, and he didn't have it. It's a problem. If that's the case, and the problem is because Reuven's not giving Shimon money now, it's only a loan that Shimon owes Reuven. Why did it say in the Mishnah that it's only forbidden if Shimon doesn't have wine? Even Shimon does have wine. It says clearly in the Brisa, even though he has chitin, it's forbidden because he's not getting money now. So that can't be pshat in the Mishnah, because the Mishnah is mashma dafka because it doesn't have wine. If you'd have wine, it's mutter. And if the reason is because of the Brisa, it should be, even if he does have wine, it should be forbidden. Elo Amar Abaye masnisin kedetoni Rav Safra beribis debei Rab Chia. The case of the Mishnah is talking about like where Rav Safra brought a Brisa. In the Brisa of Rab Chia had a lot of Brises. And in there it said this case was the following case: the Toni Rav Safra beribis debei Rab Chia. Yesh dvarim shel mutorim, there really should be mutar. V'asurim ifnei aromas ribis, but at the end of the day, it's also because it looks like cheating of ribis. Ketzad, what's the case? Omaloi, Reuven comes to Shimon and he tells Shimon, Alveini money, please lend me a money. That's 100. Sorry, it's 25 silver coins. Omaloi, Alveini money, can you lend me a money? Omaloi money only, I don't have a money. Chitim b'money yeshli. I have chitin worth a money, and I'll give you the chitin, and then you pay me back a money. Shan noisenecho. No son chitin b'money. If he gave him chitin, the guy said, "Okay, I can't get cash. Let me get valuables. I'll sell them, and then I'll get my money that I need for whatever I need." Then Shimon tells Reuven, you have chitin that I just gave you. You want to sell them to me for 24? Really, they're worth 25. And now Reuven's allowed to sell it for cheap because now it's Reuven's. Shimon gave this chitin worth 25 as a loan. Now Reuven owes Shimon 25. Now nothing to do with it. Shimon tells Reuven, I'll buy this chitin off you for 24. It's nothing to do with the alva. So what's the din? Mutter. It's mutter because it's nothing to do. The loan was 25 and he has to pay 25. And he has stam, I'm buying off you for cheap. But also last can be not allowed to do that because it looks like that you're giving him 24 and you're getting back 25, and that's forbidden. It looks like ribis. So says Abaye, Ochinami, our case in our Mishnah is still not the same case. There was a case before what the Mishnah spoke about that the Mishnah never mentioned. There was an extra part of the story. They didn't start that Reuven came to Shimon and he gave him money for the wheat. They had a stage before that. He told him, can you lend me 30 dinar? He told him, I don't have 30 dinar to give you. But chitin b'shloish dinar yeshli, I'll give you chitin worth 30 dinar, and you'll owe me 30 dinar. Shani noifenecha, I'll give it to you. He gave him chitin worth 30 dinar. And then Reuven came to Shimon. So again, Shimon came to Reuven. He asked him, can you borrow me 30? Reuven said, I don't have 30. Take 30. I'll give you not cash and 30. I'll give you chitin worth 30. Shimon took it. And then now the case of the Mishnah starts. Now Reuven comes to Shimon and says, sell me those chitin for 25, 5 less than what the value is. So now, if Shimon has, now when Reuven comes and says he wants his 25, the supply of the 25 that he owes him, they bought for cheap. So if he has wine to give him worth 30, there's no problem, because what happened, really the loan was he lent him 30 value of chitin, and now he's taking back 30 value of wine. So there's no problem, it's the same value. But if he doesn't have wine, since he doesn't have wine, he's going to take money at the end. It looks like that he gave him 25 because in the money transaction he only gave him 25 and now he's taking 30 back. So it looks like ribis, and therefore if he doesn't have wine, it's forbidden. If that's the case of the Mishnah, what does it mean in the Mishnah? It says that he's claiming and he wants his chitim. He doesn't want his chitim, he wants his loan back of the mechitim, the loan of 30. Say, I want the money of the chitim that I gave you, I want 30 back. So the Gemara Tonid Mechiti will explain the Mishnah. The Mishnah means Dmechiti, not the chitim. Says the Gemara Shani Moichrom, that Reuven says, I want it back because I want to sell them to buy something else. That I sold it to you when he gave him 30 chitim. It was like a sale that he owes him 30 now. So the Gemara Toni Shemachartum Loch. We'll learn in the Mishnah Shemachartum Loch, and it fits in. Said Rava to Abaye, Aryeh chitecho asuyis alai b'shloishim dinarim. What does it mean? It says in the Mishnah, I want chitim worth of 30 because the price went up. At the beginning, that's what he gave him, a value of 30, not because it went up. At the beginning, he gave him 30 worth of chitim. What is it saying now? Because the price went up, it doesn't make sense. So the Gemara Ochi Komaya, this is Pshat. Yeah, it means I'll give you chitim worth the value of chitin that we agreed on 30 dinar, that you gave me 30 dinar worth of chitin. Ask the Gemara, sorry, בדמי חיטין שעשו חולה בשלושים דינו הרי לך אצלי בוין יין ויין אילו. Fragt the Gemara, bedina zov akori v'chein hashar ktoni. It says in the Mishnah that the value is 25 to the dinazov. That's 25 silver coins for one kur. And you're telling me that what was the value at the beginning? 30, because he wanted the dinner and he gave him 30. So how does it make sense? The explanation of Abaye doesn't fit in with the Mishnah. Says Rava, Ella Omar Rava, says Rava, I'll tell you pshat in the Mishnah, Kishachivna, when I die, Rabbi Oshia Nofak Levosi. Rabbi Oshia, who had lots of brises, is going to come welcome me in Shemayim because I explained the Metaratzna Masisin Kavosei, because I explained the Mishnah over here like his brisa, and he'll be happy that I fit in the Mishnah that's strong to his brisa, so he'll be very happy and he'll come welcome me in Shemayim. The Tony Rabbi Oshia and Rabbi Oshia's brisa, it says, Aryeh Oyonoisha B'chaverimona. Reuven was owed by Shimon one money, and he goes to Shimon's pile of wheat. Can I have my money you owe me? I want to buy chitim with them, so can you pay me the loan back? Shimon tells him, I have wheat, I'll give you wheat instead of the 100 that you owe me. Go work out the price, how much is one money worth in chitin. I'm going to supply you this chitin worth of money during the year. Now the price, this was when the price is low. Now the price went up. So now Reuven wants to take the chitin, sell them and buy something else at the price is low. So Omar Loi, if he goes to Shimon, he tells him, tell me chitin, can I have the chitin? Shani roiteli moichrom, I want to sell them. I want to buy with this chitin wine. Omar Loi, yes, no problem. Don't bother taking it, selling and buying wine. Yes, yain, shani noifen. I'll give you wine. I owe you now. The value is so and so. I'll give you wine with that value. Go see what the price now of wine, and that's how I'm going to supply you with. The wine price went up because he didn't supply him yet the wine, and now he wants to sell the wine and buy something else. And he tells Shimon, can I have my wine? Because I want to sell the wine, and I want to buy oil when it's still cheap and before the price goes up. So Shimon tells Reuven, no problem. Shemen yeshli, I have oil. I'll give it to you. See how much the value of wine that I owe you. Let's say it's 150, and I'll give you shemen in that price. So kulam, all these cases, when you're rolling it one case after each other, im yeshloi, if Shimon has the wine or the shemen or whatever he wants to buy, mutter, there's no problem. Rabbi Oshia argues on what we said before, that it's not kisura baloyodo. Rabbi Oshia holds that if he owes him the money, if he has a chitim, if he has a wine, if he has a shemen, you can be poisek on it, even though that comes from alva and there's no money transaction giving over now. If Shimon doesn't have the item that he's promising, also it's forbidden because he's also not getting money, and he also doesn't have the supply to give it to him. So therefore, that's pshat in the Mishnah. In the Mishnah, we say that Reuven came to Shimon. It's nothing to do with a buyer that there was a loan and he sold it for cheap. No, it's talking about Reuven came to Shimon. He agreed on at the beginning on 50. He agreed at the beginning on dinazov akori v'chein hashar, and now he's coming to change it onto wine. So it depends. If he has wine, it's allowed because it's as if he's paying back now the wine, and it's okay because that's how much the value of the chitin's worth. But if he doesn't have wine and now Reuven's not giving Shimon any money, it's forbidden, and that's pshat in the Mishnah. So Rashi says that we not gurus it. The shaila is because it says in the Mishnah, it says that he bought off him with a dinazov. So the girls that we all gurus it, we're trying to say that the first case wasn't that he paid him a dinazov, it was connected the loan that he owed him. But Rashi says we don't need to be gurus it, and we can keep it that he bought it off him. So again, for pshat in the Mishnah is when it says Reuven came to Shimon and he said, take money for chitin, and Shimon agreed. And then the chitim went up in price, and now Reuven wants to change it from sell the chitim and buy wine. So now Shimon tells them, I'll give you wine instead, I'll supply you. So it depends. If Shimon has a wine to supply, so no problem, because the choiv of 30 that it's worth now goes straight on the wine that he has to supply. But if he doesn't have wine to supply, even though the Yotza Shah, because Shimon's not getting any money now, it looks like ribis. And therefore, it's forbidden. Shkoyach.